This is a version of the same question we asked on this same kind of show last year. I think last year the question I asked is who is going to be number 2 in sacks behind Bosa, and it turned out it was Leonard Floyd. So I'm asking a slightly different question, and this is I will also give my answer immediately because the question is, will the 49ers get double-digit sacks from someone other than Nick Bosa? History will tell you more than likely no. And I'll go through the numbers, though you can get close even in seasons where it doesn't feel like the pass rush has been fantastic. So I'll go all the way back to 2019. I'll give you the top 2 sack leaders on the Niners. 2019, Eric Armstead leads the team with 10. Nick Bosa has 9. 2020, this is the season that Bosa was hurt. Kerry Hyder, 8.5.
Ooh.
Eric Armstead, 3.5, was second. So you're talking about 12 sacks between your 2 sack leaders in 2020. In 2021, Bosa bounces back, 15.5 to lead the team. The next highest was Arden Key at 6.5 sacks. Bosa in 2022, where he had his league-leading 18.5. Samson Ebukam was second with 5. Bosa in 2023, 10.5. Javon Hargrave with 7. That was his first year with the Niners. And then last year, Bosa had 9, and Leonard Floyd had 8.5. So history will say, more than likely, you're not going to have 2 guys with double-digit sacks. Though, in seasons in which Bosa was like all-world, it didn't matter. The last 2 years, he has not been all-world, at least as far as getting the quarterback down. His pressures, as we've seen, are pretty consistent. But I'm going to guess that you're going to say no, that they will not have another or 2 double-digit sack guys. And after that, I want you to say who you think has the opportunity to be the best guy to possibly get double-digit sacks. And I'm also assuming that Bosa gets to 10 because last year he did not. He only got to 9.
Well, I'm gonna surprise you, and I'm gonna go with the fans this time. Brandon Huff's he's gonna have 18 because the league hasn't figured out that he's just gonna stand out there at the wide 9 and run straight to the quarterback. So they're gonna drop back 5 or 7 yards and just wait in the middle of the pocket for him to run straight at him. Of course, no. He's the fan base seems to think that the sixth best defensive edge on the Eagles is going to come here and going to be a difference maker for us. He's a third down player. And we saw, at least I saw last year with the Eagles, that what teams did is they moved the pocket, they moved the quarterback, they threw back in behind him. They didn't just let him stand out there on the edge and run straight into the pocket like he was able to do with the Jets in 2023. So no, I don't think so. I think that Williams he projects more as an edge setter in the run game. He wasn't a very effective pass rusher. And again, anything that I say I'm going to make the caveat that anything I say in this podcast about any of the rookies does not mean that I don't think that they can be good players for the rest of their career. All I'm saying is I think, history tells me with this team in around the league that if you can hit on 2 or 3 plug and play players in a draft, that's outstanding. We've got conservatively we can make the case we have 9 or 10 positions that we're trying to shore up with this draft class and free agent class. I just don't think all of them are going to hit. That doesn't mean that I'm pessimistic on Williams developing into a pass rusher. I just don't think that year one out the gate that he's going to be a double-digit pass rusher when he only got 4 in college. So that's where I'm at with it. No, I don't think so. Right? But it's not to say that I don't think that they can cobble together an effective pass rush. But I think you hit on that. We need this team is just set up for Nick has to be a superstar
Yeah.
for this defense. He can't be a 10 sack guy.
No.
For this defense to be where they want to go. He has to be 15 plus. And that it makes it tough if nobody else is producing and they can just triple team him. So it's a symbiotic relationship. If it's Nick and the depth pieces, it's hard for him to do the things he needs to do. And if he's being triple teamed, if none of the depth pieces are able to step up and make teams pay, they're just going to continue to send a back and a tight end at him. So yeah, somebody has to step up. And unfortunately, I I'm not seeing it, and I'm obviously I say with all of this, obviously I'm a fan, and I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I also kind of we both are realists, and
Yeah.
I think that it's asking a lot for any of these young guys to come in here and be double digit sack guys as rookies. After the most ridiculous thing I've heard in the time since we last got together is this Alden 2.0 nonsense with Williams. You realize how crazy that is, and that is somebody who wasn't here for the Alden experience. That dude was a monster
Yep.
in his rookie season. He didn't even start, and he had like 15 sacks. So yeah, Williams is just not that guy. So
that dude was constantly in the backfield, just hanging out, just being like, "Hey guys, I'm just here seeing you again."
It was like 15 sacks and 27 quarterback hits. Just nonsense on like 500 reps. Just crazy. Just crazy productive. And it stood to reason because he was also super disruptive at Missouri. And the only reason we got him at 11 was behavior, at which we saw why we ended up getting him at 11 because it all our, your worst fears were realized with him. He just couldn't keep it together off the field. But I mean, he did not make it because it wasn't his talent. It was definitely not his talent that short circuited his career.
I know that question was very optimistic, but I wrote it that way because I was just interested in seeing how hard that is to do, to have two guys have 10 sacks. The closest we had was 2019 when Armstead had 10 and Bosa had 9, and then last year was 9 and 8.5. So, I think you're right in that the key is Bosa becoming all world again. And if he does, then some of those other guys sneak in because there's so much attention being paid to Nick. But here's a question, and we'll talk about this a little bit more with the Saleh and Bradley conversation. I know you meant Bryce Huff, but I'm glad you didn't say
Bryce Huff. Sorry,
I'm glad you didn't say Auburn Huff.
I said Brandon, and I knew that was wrong when I said it, but I tried to. Just let it.
It's possible that Robert Saleh being back with the team and also being the head coach when Huff had his best season, or had the season that people are circling as, see, this is what he can do. It is possible that connection works out much better than it did last year. But also the other thing about the Eagles, like if you're the backup end or the backup pass rusher on the Eagles, that's not necessarily a bad thing because they had so much talent in guys being able to get to the quarterback. But you would like to see him handle that scenario a little bit better than he did. He even had a quote recently saying something to the effect of like, "Yeah, I wish I was traded like much, during the season." And so it's like, wait, you guys won the Super Bowl, dude. Like, I know he wasn't suited for that game, but still at the same time, it's like your team was awesome. Like, so I didn't necessarily like that quote, though I don't hold that against him. It's obviously he's looking for money. Like that's the whole thing for these guys is to make sure that they get their contracts. But I do wonder if Saleh being a part of that season, he knows him a little bit better than maybe Philadelphia did.
Yeah, I think that Saleh. I believe you're right that the familiarity between Buff and Saleh definitely can't hurt. My only concern about, again, obviously Saleh and Bradley have shown themselves to be um, very, very good defensive coordinators. I saw something yesterday where he was by somebody named him in the top 5, and I don't think that that's wrong. Um, the challenge is like obviously he was the head coach last year with the Jets, but it's his defense, and ultimately he's responsible. They gave up 224 points last year, and 204 points, and the Colts, who Bradley was in charge of, gave up 424 points. So, point being, it doesn't. The scheme only takes you so far. You have to have the players, and the Jets, while they were a talented team, had a lot of injuries, and the Colts just weren't a very good team. So again, that's where I think we start. We have to start there with the Saleh Bradley combination. Is how talented is this roster?
Right.
I think this is, it's going to be one of the least talented teams that Saleh has coached since, those early 49er teams. So I don't think that if we aren't the 18 point a game team that the fans think that we are, that it's not, well, I mean, if obviously if we are a 25 point a game unit, it won't be Saleh's fault. It'll be Kyle's fault because everything's Kyle's fault. But it's I don't think that it's necessarily an indictment of him and Bradley. It's just I just think we're at a place where we need to get better. And